There was another day that I was waiting for the morning session to be over, get through the lunch session, and then start trading in the afternoon session. However, the highs and lows of the lunch I was looking at, I completely got played by the whole market manipulation thing. We're just on TradingVue, and then we can jump over to Tradervue. But here, this was the lunch session. So there's a high and there's a low, and I was expecting to see a liquidity grab on the lows and the highs. But when we had this drop form, I was like, oh, we're not going to go back to the highs after that because this is so strong, and we're going to start chasing these lows down here. So I got in and shorted it and took a loss there. But what typically happens is whichever one is taken out, the higher the low first, then we turn around and go the opposite direction. That's exactly what happened today. So held on to this trade for a pretty long time, about 30 minutes, and it just never came back down. We took out the lows and then ran for the highs. Should have saw that and should have expected it, because I just watched an ICT video yesterday talking about that exact setup, and I was even marking the highs and marking the lows at the lunch. I just thought that's not what was going to happen today, and it did. So after that happened, we were running up to here, and this move was already taking out some highs, like from the 1 hour and 15-minute charts. And then as you can see, we kind of came up and respected those. And I was thinking that there was no need for us to go back up here. So when the market was moving up, I just figured we'd go up into this bearish fair value gap. And then I dropped down to the 1 minute to start looking for a bearish setup to maybe go down to these lows. And that's what this trade is over here. So I just waited for it to climb up, taking out the lunch high and taking out any stops above here and right into this fair value gap. And as soon as we were up towards the high of it, we had this strong candle down, which created its own fair value gap. And on the 1 minute, it's a little more easier to see that we did have a fair value gap. So I thought that was an indication that we would go lower, except again, I was thinking there was no need for us to come back up here because this was already taking out some highs. So we came up, took them out, and came back down. That's over with. I figured we would get the move down to clear some of this out, but as you can clearly see, that did not happen. So took the short there and kept my stop right above that swing. But this whole move was just, we're just running higher. So it is what it is. From now on, when there's a range that I'm expecting the highs and lows to be taken out, the first one that gets taken out, I need to look for a reversal in there. But lesson learned, not a big deal. Both trades were setups. They made sense that we were going to start going lower. This move right after lunch took out these swings and this swing, so it kind of made sense that we'll go hit this one now because we have relatively equal lows right there. It just made sense at the time. That's a pretty strong move as well. So yeah, took my two setups, both were losses. Here is Tradervue, and there's the two trades right there. 100% lose rate, a little over $400. Hurts a little, but not too much. Some of these moves were like, particularly this one we were shorting at 15,150, and I was prepared to hold down to here. That would have been 100 points if that played out, and it made sense that it would do that. So I was looking forward to a 100-point trade right there. But maybe now that we ran the highs of the day, maybe this last 50 minutes will get that move, but I'm not willing to risk any more today. Tomorrow we get back on our normal schedule of being able to trade the morning session around 10 a.m. and hopefully for the better. So let me know how you guys did, and see you all tomorrow.